Hey, future Broncos, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Project Caminos, the Broncos Scoop. If this is your first time listening in, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to you. If you're a Broncos Scoop pro, welcome back for more of the good stuff. I know usually Dakari hosts the podcast, and you're probably wondering, whoa, who's this? But my name is Alejandra. I'm a fourth year student at Cal Poly Pomona, majoring in visual communication design, and I am going to be taking over today. I also am a student assistant of Project Caminos like Dakari, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the California Promise program, a program that I've actually been in since I was a freshman in 2018 here at Cal Poly Pomona. So to get started, today's episode is titled California Promise, and to help me share this information about this program with y'all, we have a special guest, Nancy Terriquez, who is the coordinator of the California Promise program. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
Good. How are you, Alejandra?
I'm really good. Thank you for asking. Yeah, to start us off, could you introduce yourself to the listeners? You can go ahead and tell us your name, what department you're from, your role within that department, and how long you've been employed there.
Yeah. So my name is Nancy Mejia Terriquez. I'm an advisor in the Bronco Advising Center, and I'm also the coordinator for our California Promise Graduation Pledge programs on campus. I've been at Cal Poly, I want to say about 6 years now, but I'm also an alum, so I've been here for a little bit longer than that as well.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. And I've also been a part, well, I was a part of the pledge, and now it's known as the California Promise. And I started in 2018, and I'm set to graduate this spring. So I did it in the 4 years. So it worked.
Nice, congratulations. That's awesome.
So we can go ahead and dive in. I have a couple of questions so we can learn more about the program. The first question is, could you tell us what the California Promise program is?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, Alejandra, before the California Promise program became California Promise, it was just simply the graduation pledge program at Cal Poly Pomona. So uh, the graduation pledge program is a program that helps students graduate in either 4 years or 2 years, depending on if you're a freshman or a transfer student. It provides priority registration and also coordinated academic advising. I want to say in about 2017, the program actually moved to a legislatively mandated program as part of California. So that became the California Promise program. So it is part of California legislation now. And the program remains the same. It still provides priority registration. Students still graduate in a timely manner, and they still receive coordinated advising. So, yeah, that's just a little bit about the program.
Yes, definitely those perks about the advising and priority is a really, really big um, advantage, especially because when you actually start registering for classes, it can get a little hectic. Is when and how can students apply for the program?
Yeah, so students can apply for the program, or they're actually invited to the program. So there are certain requirements for students to be eligible for the program. So in order to be eligible for the program, one, again, because it is a California legislatively mandated program, students have to be a California resident. Before that wasn't the requirement with graduation pledge. If you're a first-time freshman, you have to be admitted as a declared major. Undeclared students are okay to be in the program. They have to be either a first generation student. They have to be from a California high school that receives at least 66% or more of reduced or free lunch. And they also have to be either Pell Grant or Dream Act recipients. For transfer students, the requirement as well is to be a California resident and then also to have completed an associate's degree for transfer in the major in which they were admitted to. So students typically, they can mark their interest in the program in their Cal State Apply application. And then once they are admitted to the university, then we review their eligibility requirements. And if they're eligible for the program, then we invite them to be a part of the program. Students can only apply during the term in which they're admitted to. So If a student was admitted for fall 2021, then they would apply during that term. If unfortunately, if they missed that deadline, then they're no longer eligible for the program.
So does that mean that out-of-state students aren't eligible?
That's correct. Out-of-state students are not eligible for the program.
And that invitation, is that sent to their school email?
Yes, the invitation is sent to their school email.
Okay, good to know. And any Cal State Apply application tips that you can share with us?
Yeah, so like I said, the students can mark their interest in the program in their Cal State Apply application. If students don't mark their interest in the program, then we don't know that they're interested in it, and that means that we don't invite them to it. So it's really important that they mark their interest in their Cal State Apply application. I believe that there is a question in the other section in the Cal State Apply application that asks, are you interested in the California Promise Program? And it also gives them an overview about what it is. So as soon as students apply, they should just mark yes for their interest. Even if they don't know if they're eligible, I would say still mark their interest just in case.
Yeah, definitely doesn't hurt to just
Yeah.
mark it. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And I know you already spoke a little bit about this, but does the program offer any perks prospective students should know about?
Yeah. So I mean, the main perk is to graduate in a timely manner. I know that for a lot of students, that's really vital, especially if they're trying to be involved on campus. If they have other personal duties outside of campus, then it's again, the program also provides priority registration. So if you're trying to make your schedule the way that you want it to and graduate in a timely manner, then the priority registration comes in handy. And also each student gets their own pledge advisor. So depending on what major they're in, they each have a college advisor that's specific to them and that guides them throughout their time at Cal Poly. So if you're a first-time freshman, they guide you throughout your 4 years. And then if you're a transfer, they guide you throughout your 2 years here.
Yeah, and I especially really like the extra advisor that I get because sometimes I have a hard time contacting my faculty advisor. And when I was a freshman, I went and met with my pledge advisor, and she was able to let me know how my AP credit had transferred from high school. And to this day, I'm not sure if I would have known unless she would have told me herself. So that's a really great perk. And my last question is, how easy is it for accepted students to stay in the program?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that it's easy necessarily because each student is, individually on their own graduation path. I would say that there are certain requirements to maintain eligibility in the program. Some of those requirements are to remain in the same major in which you're admitted to. And again, when I say that everyone is on their own individual path, some students do decide to change their major because they decide that they're on a different career path. Um, Unfortunately, because the program is part of legislation, then that is one of the requirements is to remain in the same major. So those students who decide to change their major, then they would no longer be eligible for the program. Another requirement is to complete 30 units for the academic year. So the 30 unit requirement is meant to ensure that students do graduate in a timely manner. So for most degree programs at Cal Poly, students have to complete 120 units to complete their degree. So if you're a first-time freshman, if you're here for 4 years, then you should be completing 30 units each academic year because then 30 units for 4 years equals 120 completed units, right? Another requirement is to have a GPA of a 2.5 or above, and also to have grades of a C minus or better, or a credit in all of their courses. So, like I said, each student is on their own individual path. So, like I said, it wouldn't necessarily be easy. It's just ensuring that you complete these requirements, and unfortunately, if a student doesn't complete them, then they wouldn't be eligible for the program any longer.
Yeah, personally, from my experience, it's definitely been being on top of it, meeting with your advisor and getting your planner signed and ready and submitted before the deadline. It's always something that I unfortunately like kind of leave to the last minute, and I scurry like trying to meet with my advisor back when we were face to face. I'd have to like walk all the way to her building to get it signed. But it's just about kind of having good time management sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the program is that, and that's why we, initially called the program a pledge, because it's not only a pledge for the students to maintain eligibility, but it's also a pledge on our end to ensure that students are up to date on communication, that we're, communicating in the best way possible, that, these deadlines are coming up to submit your plan, keeping up our pledge to make sure that we're also doing the best things possible to ensure that students are also graduating in a timely manner.
Yes, definitely. So now we have our speed questions, which are just going to be really quick, true and false. So we can get started on that. The first one is only first-time freshmen are eligible for the California Promise.
False.
California Promise program participants receive free parking.
False. I wish that was true, but it's false.
Right? Great. California Promise program participants receive priority registration.
True.
Students in the California Promise program are allowed to switch majors.
False.
And to maintain eligibility, students must fill out their CPP Connect planner before the deadline.
True.
And is there anything else, Nancy, that you'd like to share about the program?
Yeah, I always tell students to just mark their interest on their Cal State Apply application. Like I said, even if you think or you're not sure that if you're eligible for the program, still mark your interest. If you forgot to mark your interest in the program, no worries, just reach out to me and I will ensure that I review your eligibility in the program. And if so, then I send students an email with an invitation to the program. So I'm not sure if this will be included in the podcast, but my email is gradpledge@cpp.edu. So if students do forget to mark their interest, like I said, just reach out to me. I think it's a really good opportunity, again, to graduate in a timely manner. So definitely take advantage of the opportunity, and I hope you all consider the program.
And I definitely always tell people, like, my number one tip is try to get back when it was the pledge, I was like, try to get in the pledge. Trust me, even if you're not sure you're gonna stay in your major. A lot of people that I knew when I was a freshman, I was like, are you gonna do the pledge? They're like, well, I think I might switch majors. And then they ended up staying in the major and they didn't get to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get those questions a lot, and I always tell students just apply, and when you do change your major, then we'll let you know that you're no longer part of the program. But in the meantime, just apply, and we'll see from there. So
you can enjoy the free perks for a couple semesters.
Definitely.
Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you, Nancy, for coming and giving us your time. This was very helpful, very informative. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alejandra, for having me.
That brings us to the end of our episode, but before we say goodbye, we want to leave you all with a question of the day. Given all this information, do you think you will decide to join the California Promise program when you become a Bronco? Go ahead and comment your response below. We love to read the comments and hear from y'all. As always, we appreciate every listening ear that tunes in. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also, turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a beat. And follow us on social media at CPP Caminos to get notifications and updates about our upcoming workshops and episodes. And check out our link tree where you can directly register for workshops. Thank you and have a great day.